WUSA 9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, good evening. I'm meteorologist Makayla Lucero with WUSA 9. Hey, it has been a soggy day across the entire DMV and very, very windy out there. Wind gusts for some of us have been close to 40 miles per hour. Now, this is a look outside at a satellite loop of what is currently Tropical Storm Ophelia. It's still dropping very heavy rainfall for North Carolina, the state of Virginia, into D.C., Maryland, and even into Pennsylvania and New York as well. It's going to continue to be a very soggy system, but it's not super powerful at this point in time. It is still a tropical storm, but it is expected to weaken over the next few days. So this is our most recent data coming into our newsroom just 2 hours ago. Winds within the storm are up to 40 miles per hour. Now, for this to be a tropical storm, winds have to be at 39 miles per hour. So it is a very, very weak tropical storm at that, and it is expected to become a tropical depression within the next several hours. When we put a track on the storm system as it passes through the DC region, it does look like it will be a low pressure system, so downgraded, winds only at about 35 miles per hour. Let's put that in perspective a little bit more. When we're looking at severe thunderstorm warnings, which we've had a number of over the past summer, that's when we're seeing winds between about 50 and 60 miles per hour, if not even stronger than that. Winds within this storm are going to be about half of that. So yes, it's still going to be breezy, but no, this is not a super powerful system that's coming through. I know it can be easy to think that when we have a named tropical storm around our region, but winds within are only at about 35 miles per hour. And those are the sustained wind gusts, could be closer to about 40 to 50 as it continues to approach our region. It's moving at a pretty fast pace right now towards the north at about 12 miles per hour. So it's not necessarily slow. It's not the fastest system we've seen, but it's moving at a relatively good pace there. All right, let's talk about the current tropical watches and warnings out there. All the areas you see there in yellow, that's where we have that tropical storm warning out. That means that those areas will be experiencing tropical storm force winds throughout the day, rest of your Saturday and into Sunday as well. So those winds are going to be gusty, potentially damaging for several of these spots. Now, these are all areas to the south and east of DC, Cambridge, Ocean City, into Tappahannock, as well as Lexington Park. All of those areas, Cape Charles into Norfolk. That's where they're seeing the strongest winds and the heaviest rain as Ophelia is passing through that region. Again, it's a very weak tropical storm, but a tropical storm nonetheless. All right, let's get over to our local satellite and radar. This is what it looks like outside. We haven't seen a busy radar like this in quite some time. Widespread showers across the entire DMV. If you get a little break in the rain, enjoy it because you can see it right here. There is more coming behind it. 1 or 2 pockets of moderate rainfall for a few of us, but most of us are just under those nuisance showers. It's the same rain we've been seeing all day long. It's just those lighter showers coming through, occasionally getting a little heavy before it just goes back to kind of those sprinkles passing through the area. Let's get a closer look at DC. Right now it's mostly cloudy and we're actually getting a break for a few spots. Northeast, you're getting a little bit of a break, and southwest seeing a touch of a break there as well. Now, this is not going to be long-lived. Again, there is more rain on the way for tonight and into tomorrow. We'll go through Futurecast here in just a second, and we're going to go hour by hour, so you're going to want to stick around and see that. Into places like Upperville, Winchester, Charlestown, you are getting a little bit of that moderate rainfall right now. But for all of us, even if you're getting a good amount of rain, we're really not seeing much lightning or hearing much thunder. Out over the ocean, yes, there is some of that activity, but over land, not seeing a whole lot of that. Here's what that tells us as meteorologists. It means there's not a lot of energy in the system. When we've got a lot of thunder and lightning, we can infer that there is some strength within those storms. We're just not seeing that at this point in time. We are seeing a good amount of rainfall, but we're not seeing super energized storms, which is good. It means our risk for severe weather is relatively low. Sure, we'll get the gusty winds, but no, our chances for seeing severe storms, very, very low heading into your Saturday and even into Sunday as well. That doesn't mean we're in the clear from significant weather. We do have this wind advisory you see here until at least 8 p.m. I would not be surprised if this is extended at least into tonight and into potentially Sunday as well. All the areas you see there in yellow, it is including the DC region into Arlington County. Alexandria is included in that one. Gaithersburg, portions of our far western counties. Manassas, you're inside of that. Waldorf, La Plata, Annapolis. Very gusty winds for those regions. This is a wind advisory, which means winds could be strong enough to do some damage to tree limbs, especially ones that could potentially already have been compromised from storms that we saw earlier in the summer. If you've got outdoor decorations and you didn't bring them in, you probably don't have outdoor decorations anymore. It's been just that windy for today. Let's look at some of our wind gusts that we've seen. This data coming into our newsroom just 5.5 minutes ago. These are our preliminary reports for peak wind gusts that we have seen on Saturday. 38 miles per hour for DC, 29 in Manassas, 30 for Dulles. We are at 21 for Gaithersburg. Frederick, you're at 25. Annapolis, 39. That looks to be one of the strongest for the entire region. 20 in Front Royal, Winchester, and Luray as well. Now we have to talk about our rainfall as well. We have a flood watch for the areas you see there in green. Here's what this means. This is called an aerial flood watch. It means that we're not getting one period of really heavy rainfall that causes that flooding. No, an aerial flood watch occurs when we're seeing rain for a really long period of time. So it's been raining since early this morning. It's going to continue raining all night tonight and into tomorrow, which means the flooding will be a slow moving process. So we're not necessarily going to see all this water come in at once. It's going to be a slow flood. So you know the areas in your neighborhood and the roads that you tend to drive that tend to pool up with water. You're going to want to avoid those for at least the next day or so. Or if you have to go through those areas, make sure that you are using extra caution. We always tell you, turn around, don't drown. You do not want to drive through a flooded roadway at this time. And this is only going to continue to be an issue throughout tonight and into tomorrow. If you are out on the roadways, remember to turn on those headlights. If your windshield wipers are on, you need to have your headlights on as well. When you turn on your headlights, turns on your tail lights as well, which means people behind you will be able to see you a little bit better on the roadway. So an important thing to keep in mind, keep yourself safe out on the road. As far as our rainfall totals at this time, I'll step off so you can see the whole screen. Some of us, these are preliminary reports, but that blue color you're seeing there, that's where we can infer up to about 2 inches of rain. We're seeing a couple speckles of that purple color in there between DC and out towards the Falls Church region. That's where we're seeing about 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. And this is preliminary, so I would not be surprised if we see some of these numbers increase over the next couple of days. All right, we're going to go through just a little bit of futurecast here. And then we're going to send it out live so you can see what's going on across the region. So this is what we're expecting to see throughout the next about 12 hours or so. This low pressure system continues to pass through our region, still dropping heavy rainfall for your Sunday, and then slowly starting to pass out as we get into Monday. Now we'll get a little bit more of an in-depth look in just a little bit, but first I want to take you outside to our Leslie Moreno right now. She is in Annapolis. Leslie, what are you seeing out there?
Makayla, we've been talking to local businesses here on the marina. They tell me this area specifically always floods. You can see some of the water here starting to overflow onto the main street here. These strong winds pulling the water in. We actually spoke to the chef here at Carroll's Creek Cafe. He says their garage always floods during storms, and sometimes the water reaches the main street, making it difficult for customers and employees to get through. The cafe here has had a lot of cancellations today, and they'll be closing in an hour, sending employees home in case the storm gets bad.
Not seeing anything. I don't know when high tide is, but yes, typically this street will flood. Our lower parking garage floods. Yes, so we got sandbags in front of our door. We have a storage below here. Our deck upstairs, everything's removed. The wind's gonna blow it away. You know,
the wind's definitely picking up here. We have also been talking to several residents who say they're seeing some high waves close to the Bay Bridge, which is about 5 miles from the marina, which is where we are. So we're going to head there next, check the conditions out there, and we'll bring you an update coming up tonight at 11. Makayla?
Hey, thank you, Leslie, and stay safe out there with that gusty wind and those showers moving through the region. All right, we're going to give you a look at Futurecast now. We're going to go hour by hour, walking through what you're going to see for the rest of the night tonight and into tomorrow as well. So we're starting at 8 p.m. there. Your timestamp's going to be there in the corner, and you can see this model is actually doing a pretty great job with timing and location. I am going to see if our director can take that down. Perfect. So you can see our far southern counties down here. What you're seeing is just, well, a little bit more of what we saw today. Widespread showers and pockets of moderate rainfall that don't last very long. As we get closer to about midnight, well, it's a little bit more of the same. The rain is not going anywhere overnight tonight. We're going to continue with those showers across the region. Now, it does look like this model is bringing in a touch more heavy rainfall between about 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, but our chances for widespread severe weather tonight, it's really just not on the table. We're not seeing enough energy in our atmosphere to get those significant storms coming across. As we're waking up on Sunday morning, if you're headed out to church, maybe wanting to do a run or a jog early on, conditions are going to be pretty miserable outside. As we get closer to about 8 to 9 o'clock, when a lot of us will probably start preparing for the Commanders game, we will start to see a touch of clearing. If you tend to go out to FedEx Field, maybe you're doing some tailgating before the game, it's going to be soggy. You're going to want to make sure you have the tent. If you're out in the parking lot, have something to keep you dry because it is going to be quite soggy out there. By about 11 to 12, well, things do start to improve. We are seeing some clearing across the region. It looks like the heaviest rain will be out of our area, but cloudy skies and light sprinkles will still be possible. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about for our friends who are going to the game tomorrow. It's another sold out game. Here are some things to keep in mind. You cannot bring an umbrella into the stadium. So you'll want to have a rain poncho along with you, or maybe a trash bag over you to keep you nice and dry. Something else to consider, your seat is going to be wet. So make sure you have maybe a little towel along with you. If you bring a little washcloth with you, you'll be able to dry off your seat, your friend's seat, to make sure that you're not sitting on a soggy little puddle for the entire game. So that's something to keep in mind if you are going out to the game tomorrow. It is going to be pretty gloomy, and it's going to be a touch on the chilly side. Temperature is getting started for the game. This is 1 o'clock kickoff. We're only sitting at about 65 to 66 degrees. And with the breezy winds, not necessarily going to be breezy in the stadium, but still out and about, it's not going to be very warm. So make sure that you've got something to keep yourself warm and your friends and family if you are all going out to the game. Soggy, windy, makes for a very chilly and potentially miserable game. So we want to try and avoid that for tomorrow. So have something to keep yourself dry and have something to dry off your seat as you're going into the game. And remember, you cannot bring an umbrella into the stadium. As we get to about 2 o'clock, getting closer to that halftime, well, that's when things do improve. We're still cloudy, but showers become much more scattered in nature. We're going to continue with that improving pattern as we head into the overnight hours. Now remember, these are going to be the last little outer bands of Ophelia passing through our region. So 1 or 2 of those outer bands could gain a little bit of strength, but not a lot. It's not going to be as rainy tomorrow as what we are seeing for today. Today, there was no chance for clearing at all. We're not going to see any clearing skies. Sunday, it's going to be gradual clearing. So it's going to start off pretty yucky, but by the overnight hours, things start to get a little bit better. Getting into your Monday, waking up with cloudy skies, and then we fall into this pattern of off and on showers for the rest of the week. We're going to deal with some cloud cover as well as some showers too. We'll go through that in your 7-day in just a second, but another Futurecast showing you here the winds. This is on Sunday. Winds up to about 20 miles per hour for some of us. Now here's your 7-day forecast. What you need to know right now is Sunday is still going to be very soggy across the entire region, and then things slowly improve throughout the week. We're going to keep a very low rain chance in there pretty much Monday through Saturday. With the cloud cover that we're seeing, we could sneak in a few of those sprinkles. No day is going to be a washout at this time, but we will monitor that chance for a few of the showers across the region. We're going to continue to keep you updated on all things Ophelia throughout the rest of the night tonight and into tomorrow. Be sure to keep yourself safe, and for the latest updates, head on over to WSA9.com.